Buenas noches, amigos. It is 5 o'clock here, and tonight I want to dedicate this episode to a dear friend who is not only the sister of one of my best friends in the whole world, but she is also a badass surgeon who is now working on the front lines battling COVID in New York City. Dr. Shivani, you asked for it, you're gonna get it. This is your Pisco Sour, because if anybody needs a drink, it's you, girl. So let's get started. So, Pisco Sour. The sour part, y'all see me do the whole whiskey sour. You guys know what a sour is. It's spirits, it's sugar, it's citrus. There you go. But what is Pisco? Pisco sounds very fancy. Pisco is a brandy. And a brandy is a distilled wine. And wine is made from grapes. Where do grapes come from? The old world. Well, if you talk to my friends in Georgia, they say, wine came from there. So you can go like all back through the Caucasus, but we're gonna start in Spain. Now, as with many stories about this part of the world, AKA the Americas, we start with colonialism. So problematic. But anyways, so Francisco Pizarro was like, y'all, I'm ditching Extremadura because we po, and I'm going over to South America. Well, it was not called South America then. It was called the New World, or whatever it was called. That place where we're gonna go steal all their stuff and kill all the people. And he was like, you know, in my packing list, I'm gonna be like, okay, I need my hose, because dudes wore hose. I need a horse or two, some guns, and then also vines for grapes, because can't go anywhere without my wine. And that part of the packing list I can get down with, because I'm like, you know, what do you need? It's like, okay, moisturizer, sunblock, wine, always a good choice. Anyhow, they planted tons and tons and tons of vineyards across South America. Chile and Argentina, you probably know the wine from there, but they also planted a ton of vineyards in Peru. But what they did in Peru, and I'm really hoping that Peruvian wine becomes a big thing soon, because that would be really cool. But the biggest and most famous by far export alcoholic-wise from Peru is Pisco. And Pisco is a brandy, which is distilled wine. It is a spirit distilled from grapes. And so Pisco is going to be 40% alcohol-ish, 80 proof. So it's not gonna be too strong. I mean, it's still, you know, a spirit, but it's not gonna be like, wham, in your face, 100 proof, boom, like grappa. Don't at me. Grappa is like gasoline. Try it. Yeah, even good grappa. I'm sorry. I love you grappa producers, but like, anyhow. So, this particular Pisco was started in 2006. It's called Machu Pisco. It's a pun. It's amazing because of Machu Picchu, Machu Pisco. I love it. Anyways, it was started by two sisters back in 2006, and I love that because it's one of the only female-owned producers in Peru. But anyhow, I digress. So, they're making this aguardiente de Pisco. By the way, it probably got its name from the port city of Pisco, where they were like, hey, we're gonna send everything that we steal from you guys through the city of Pisco, and then we're also gonna send aguardiente de Pisco, which aguardiente just means like fiery water. That's what rum was called before it was called rum. So that's a good kind of like blanket term for this stuff. Anyhow, so yeah, they took this stuff and then they shipped it out and they were like, this is great. Chile and Peru actually have kind of like a thing between who started the Pisco Sour in general, because they do both make Pisco because they're both big grape producers. But Peru definitely has like the rap on it, and a lot of people do say like, you know, this is really more of a Peruvian thing. Chile, you got wine, y'all take this. Anyhow, let's fast forward to the early 1900s, like 1916, 1920-ish. A guy named Victor Von Morris, not Von Morris, but Victor space Von space Morris. He was an American and he went down to Lima and he started working at this place called the Mari Hotel. Not like the TV show, but like the TV show, spelled that way, but like not. Anyways, so he had a bar named the Morris Bar because, you know, hubris. And he created this drink called the Pisco Sour. And he said, again, I'm not going to get into it. Like, there's folks in Chile who are like, no, our guy started the Pisco Sour. And I'm like, I'm going to go with this line of history. We can debate it in the comments. That's fine. Anyhow, so he took Pisco, brandy from Peruvian grapes. And today we're going to do 2 ounces of that into our shaker. And so he took Pisco. And Pisco is, you know, like I said, it's a brandy, so it does taste like that. And here, I will give you, hold on. It's pretty smooth, but it's brandy that's unaged. So, it's got this like very much, it doesn't hit you in the back of the mouth at all. It definitely just kind of hits you on the front of your palate, and then it rolls, and then it kind of warms, kind of mid thorax. I don't know, right here. Right here. It warms you right there. But it's not really hot. Like I said, it's 80 proof. And then, so we got 2 ounces of our Pisco. And then I'm gonna do 1 ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice because it's delicious. And it's not a sour unless it's citrusy. So, popping that in there. And then we're going to use 3/4 of an ounce of rich simple syrup. Now, again, rich simple syrup, I'm gonna move that because I'm gonna knock that sucker over. Rich simple syrup is 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And so we are going to pop this over on this side, 3/4 of an ounce. And the rich simple syrup gives it a really good viscosity because we're also gonna pop an egg white in here too. Remember, please wash your eggs always because you don't know what's on there. Egg white. So we're gonna pop this egg white in here. And the viscosity of the egg white, and it's gonna, you know, all of that nice albumin and all of those proteins, 3.5 grams per egg white. That's like 3/5 of an ounce of almonds, I guess. You know, it's a decent amount of protein. No! It's okay, there's no yolk in there. It's fine. I could be like Gaston, you know? When I was young, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning. Isn't that nasty? Because if you just like ate a whole egg, it'd be so crunchy. Ugh. Anyways, I got all my stuff in here. And remember, the egg white is gonna give us that nice body to it, or as my boyfriend says, mouthfeel. Gross. So we're gonna pop a lot of ice in there. Seriously, my ice maker on my freezer is not handling all of my cocktails. Like, it is protesting. So we're gonna do a reverse dry shake on this one. So what that means, again, is that we are going to pop ice in here and then shake the heck out of it. And then we're gonna strain it and then shake it again because we want it to be really foamy. Here we go. So Peru, I went there in 2004 with my mother. What up, Rue? And, you know, I was 16, so I didn't really drink that much. I think I had like a mango daiquiri at one point in Cusco. Actually, I know I did. If you want to hear the full story about that, please message me because I'm not going to do that here. So many memories. Yeah, it was at a bar called Infierno y Cielo, Hell and Heaven. It was right outside of the monastery that we were staying in Cusco. I mean, it was like a monastery that's now a hotel. Anyways, so, all right, let's open this sucker. So I don't think I had a Pisco Sour when I was actually in Peru. So when I go back, I'm definitely gonna do that. So we spent like 10 days there, right? And I'm gonna strain this into my cheater. The cheater is the small part of the Boston shaker. I'm gonna strain this in here so then I can reverse dry shake it so I can get it so frothy. And I'm doing that so that it's not just like overwhelmed by all the ice, and I wanna really, really, really maximize all that froth. But so, we're in Peru, right? We have a great time. I climbed Machu Picchu. Huayna Picchu, really. Well, I did Huayna Picchu and Machu Picchu. Fun fact, you know the little like thing that you see in Machu Picchu? This part is Machu Picchu. This part is Huayna Picchu. Like the thing, like the really big one is called Huayna Picchu. Just telling you, that's the Quechua. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I really need a drink. It's been such a Monday. So we were there, and the last day that we were there, we were in Lima. And you know, when you're in a foreign country for a while, you know, sometimes you just want something really familiar, and we didn't really want to like eat any more lomo saltado or ceviche. And so we were like, you know, let's just have something easy. And there was a Chili's around the corner from, stop your eye rolling, Chili's is delicious. Baby back ribs, even though I don't eat meat anymore, but whatever. I can still get down on some tortilla chips. So we went to the Chili's near the hotel, which, mistake number one. And my mother got the worst food poisoning ever because we got on the plane the next day, and I've never seen her more miserable in her whole life. It was so bad. And it's funny because that last day, not only did we go to a Chili's, she got food poisoning, but we also watched Reagan's funeral. What a weird day. These are all the details that you'll hear on my amazing video. We're ready. That break was for you, Lisa. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Hawthorne strainer, and we are going to strain this into a cute little glass. Now I'm actually going to double strain this because I know for a fact I've got some lemon seeds in here. All right. And generally when you're working with citrus, I always say to do a double strain. It's also going to make your foam, your egg foam, so much smoother. And I'll show you what I mean. Oh my gosh, this is like a dream. Like, look at that. Look at that. It looks like, it's just like snow. It's like, looks like snow ice cream, which I'm kind of mad at myself that I've eaten my whole life because it's probably full of like garbage pollutants, but yay, who cares? All right, so the garnish on this one is special to the Pisco Sour, and it's going to be a little bit of angostura bitters on top. So if you have an extra like little atomizer, I highly recommend filling it with angostura and then throwing it on the counter. Oh, there it is. That's cool. Did anybody know that droppers do that? If you go like that, it goes into the tip of the dropper. I didn't know that until just now. Fun things. So, if you put it in the atomizer and then you can cut out like any sort of design on like parchment paper or whatever, and then you can put it across the glass. And I'll do this on a future video when I have a little bit more time and patience, which is not today. And then you spray it and you can actually do like any kind of cool design across an egg white foam. It's so neat. But here I'm gonna do just a little like drops and stuff. So you can do just like a little design. And then you can kind of like, you know, mess around with it if you want. I know this is like really good television. You're like, ooh, things we can't even see. But I'm essentially just making like a little design on here. And yeah, I mean, you don't really want the ango to get into your drink, so that's why you don't really want to, wow, I'm not an artist. Anyways, that's kind of what it looks like. Can y'all see that? There you go. Ooh, it looks terrible, but it's gonna taste delicious, so. Oh, Shivani. This is gonna wash all of your cares away.